YouTube vinyl community, people who love talking about the first record they ever bought, random people on the internet. My name is Giggens, and we are here today to talk about kind of a different idea than just a standard album review. Kind of want to do some more videos where I talk about random stuff involved with music. So today's topic video will be, what was the first vinyl record you ever bought with your own money? So I thought about this because in coming up with more ideas for the channel, I was like, let me go back to like when I just started getting into records. I mean, I always had been into records when I was a kid because I grew up with my parents' LP collection. So I kind of, we kind of inherited that, but it was for all of us to use. And then we got records from friends and stuff over the years, family friends and all that. When I was a kid in the 90s, because at that point records were obsolete. No one was buying LPs anymore. They were getting rid of these things at garage sales for free. Just get rid of them. CDs and tapes are the way to go. So I still remember the first cassette I would have saved up for, the first one I would have wanted. CDs, I remember the first couple CDs I bought. But with LPs, I'd gotten most of them as gifts as a kid, or people getting rid of stuff, and I just kind of inherited it from other people. So I was like, all right, what was the first LP that I bought with my own money? And I went to a store and bought it myself. And that was the Who, Who's Next. This is a MCA 1980 copy with a rainbow label. And I bought this at a place pretty close to where I lived growing up. And I paid for this with my own money. At the time, I bought this when I was probably 14? No, maybe like 15. Yeah, I was probably about 15 years old. So at that point, I would have had one of my early jobs when I was an early teenager, when I was allowed to work during the summer in between school, and saved up money for it because I really wanted to develop more of a record collection. Because we had a lot of records, but we didn't have everything. A lot of Beatles, the Beach Boys, that kind of stuff. But when it came to bands like the Who or the Stones or the Kinks or whatever else I was getting into, I was picking up other stuff. So I had been buying CDs for obviously forever because that's what there was back then. There was no, crazy Spotify or Pandora or whatever. You can download it at that time, but it took 6 years to download 3 songs, so buying the CD was still the way to go. But so I had the CD for Who's Next already. I probably would have gotten that when I was also about 15, but I wanted the LP to have the experience of having a record that was my own. It was my thing. I spent money on it. This was for me. So this goes back quite a while now. I mean, this is one of my earliest LPs that I ever bought myself. And I just remember taking it out of the sleeve for the first time. It came with this crappy plastic sleeve, which I've never replaced because nostalgia for me. But the record itself is in pretty good shape. I mean, there's only a couple of scratches on it just because, whoever played it before me loved it just as much as I did. But you got the old school MCA Records rainbow label, which I've always thought was cool. I think it's a little bit more fun than the boring one they had in the early days of the early 70s. But at the time, I didn't know what it was. I didn't know anything about the detail of what record collecting was and the variants and all that kind of stuff. So when I found it, I just thought, cool, Who's Next on vinyl? Sweet, I'll pick it up. It was probably $10 at the time or something. I could do that. I got $10 to save up. I was a pool guy, cleaning pools. I've got $10. But yeah, it's got the big barcode on the back. All selections previously released. But I just remember being captivated by it. I remember looking at the spine and seeing MCA Records, The Who, Who's Next, the Matrix label up here. Just being able to stare at the cover and be like, wow, man, this is so cool. 4 dudes just took a leak at a monolith. This is great. That's what the cover is, kids. Look at it. And on the back, there's this crazy shot of them backstage somewhere just hanging out, Keith going crazy at a table. I mean, for me, this was one of those moments where, we first discover for me anyway, this was when I was really getting deeper and deeper into classic rock when I was about 15, having grown up with, the British Invasion, 50s doo-wop, 50s rock and roll, Motown, the Beach Boys, all that kind of stuff, to get into more of the album-oriented rock of the late 60s and into the 70s was exciting because that was kind of what I was getting into at that time. So hearing this music In this particular album, anyway, I mean, it's the amount of synthesizers on this thing, the drumming, the vocals, the song construction, the expansion, the way they were being so progressive in their um, exploration of what a song could be, especially with "Won't Get Fooled Again" or "Bob O'Reilly." Um, Getting in tune. I mean, there's some excellent tracks on this thing, but it set them apart from what they had been doing previously with Tommy in a whole different form. But hearing that there's a character that this album has that lends itself very well to the vinyl format. Um, I just always gravitated towards it. So very happy that one of my first LPs that I ever bought with my own money when I was about 15 years old was Who's Next. Right around that same time, I also picked up Hooligans, which is a Who Greatest Hits album that came out in 1979 or 81. I'm sorry. But I remember at the time seeing this thing and being like, "Oh, cool! I've never seen this before." Because again, this was when the internet was still kind of new, so there wasn't like a ton of information out there. There was stuff out there, but it's not like how it is now. And so whenever you come across something new, it was like, "Whoa, cool! I've never seen this before. I wonder if it's rare." You know, that's the way it was. But I remember picking this up because I didn't have a whole lot of Who stuff on vinyl at the time. So again, with my pool boy money. I picked this up and I thought it was cool because it had stuff like Let's See Action, The Relay, Song Is Over, Sister Disco, Join Together, Slip Kid, The Real Me. Like there was some Drowned. There were some different songs on here. It wasn't your standard Who Greatest Hits album where it's just like, you know, Substitute, Can't Explain, Anyway, Anyhow, Anywhere, I'm a Boy. You know, this kind of went into a different direction. It kind of covered some stuff that you don't normally see on a record. And it's a gatefold, it's a 2 LP set. So again, I was already kind of captivated by the gatefold of it all. But great pictures of the guys. And yeah, this is again one of the earliest records I ever bought as well. It's probably 14 or 15 or 16 or something at the time. But you get the words inside it, which I always thought was cool too. And a good picture of the guys when they were mod at the bottom. And the classic MCA rainbow logo. See, I haven't played this physical album in years. I mean, it's been a very long time since I've put this thing on the turntable. So I can't remember how it sounds, like if the mixes were good or what the deal is. But very fun to take it out and look back on it again, and you know, it's kind of get lost in that world of being able to, you know, take out your album it's your album, you bought it with your money, and you can look at it and you can see it and smell it and clean it up on your own and put it on the record player and get lost in the world of looking at the pictures of these guys and, you know, looking at the front jacket with these all kinds of stuff going on in the background, smashed guitars and drums and TV all over the place. So yeah, I really enjoy the presentation on this thing, and the back of it, you know, first bunch of Hooligans, second bunch, third bunch, fourth bunch of Hooligans. So it's really lovingly well put together. But yeah, it's been a very long time since I've played this thing, but these 2 albums definitely take me back to a time where I was getting heavily into collecting records. I had a collection, like I said, growing up, but starting to collect them for myself, going out to a store, picking them up, and you know, using my own money to buy something, which, you know, it's pretty cool when you start working when you're 13 years old and you have some money to spend. So, yeah, I thought it'd be fun to make a video like this, kind of show off some stuff. So, what was the first album you bought with your own money? It wasn't a gift. It wasn't some, you know, thing from a friend or you know, whatever. Even if you found it at a tag sale for 50 cents, what was the first LP that you bought with your own money? So, that's it. My name is Giggens. This has been a question video to see what the first record you bought was and to share your story, because I think it'd be a little more fun to kind of put a little bit of personal bend to my channel once in a while. Not all the time, but once in a while I think it'd be kind of cool. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video, and I'm excited to talk about this in the comments below. So thank you so much, and bye-bye.